All right, welcome back to part 2 of the Left-Handed Bandit mobile paint party experience. The theme, uh, Haikyuu Bokuto character. Still not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. We, in part 1 of our painting, had added all the necessary ingredients to make sure that our painting was pretty much all set. You know, between the arms and the jersey and the hair in the background, we put in a great deal of work in just a short amount of time. Now it's time to bring it all home and put some line work and finer detail on the character so that we're all set. So this is the fun part of the painting. Usually this is a step where the painting comes to life and those small details that we like really start to kind of shine through. So for this step of the painting, I'm going to be using my smaller paintbrush. I'm not going to be using my foam brush anymore, but I'm going to be using my smaller paintbrush for this part of the painting. You can also utilize a Sharpie or some kind of black marker for this as well. So you don't have to 100% utilize just the paint itself, but I'm going to show you in just a second how we can kind of use that paint to really benefit us. Earlier I mentioned making sure we smooth both parts of our paintbrush out in our paint so that we can get a sharper, flatter, tighter paintbrush to make lines. That skill, that trick is going to really come in handy as we're doing all of these different types of outlines for this character. However, if you begin to do this and you feel as though you're not comfortable with this method, if you have any markers or Sharpies or anything laying around the house, feel free to utilize those. Markers or Sharpies, or even some pens. However, they're not completely necessary. I'm going to do all of mine in the actual black paint outline. I'm going to take some of my black paint, find a clean area on my plate or palette, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some water to my paint. The reason why I'm going to be adding water to my paint is because water is going to thin that paint out and allow it to be a lot more flexible. So just take just a few drops of water, of your paint water, and add it to your black paint so it's a little bit watery, but not too watery. You don't want to add too much paint, water to your paint. This is about the consistency. Ooh, getting paint all over the place. This is the consistency that I have, somewhere about here. And I'm going to smooth both sides of my paintbrush out in that paint so that I can whip it all around these different outlines. So you can start anywhere you like on your canvas, in your character outline. Smoothing both sides of my brush out. I'm going to start with the arm. I'm going to take my time and add my black outline. I'm lightly, very, very lightly pressing up against my canvas. If I press lightly, I can control how thick or thin that outline is. So I got my arm outlined. I got my hand coming up in just a second. But things are going to really start to come to life. So, again, if you're not liking the effects with this paintbrush, you are more than welcome to use a Sharpie or some type of permanent marker if you have one lying around your house. So I got the hand mostly done. Get that fingernail, some details in that pointer finger, detail under the palm, add a couple of lines. So now I have my arm. Next, I'm going to continue to the jersey. So I'm adding in some of those original outlines that we originally had and getting that jersey filled in, creating some outlines on the sleeve and the creases to add some detail to my piece. Remember to smooth your paintbrush out in the paint every time you grab some paint. It really will make a difference to the outcome of your painting. So I'm going kind of fast, but you can take your time with this. I'm just looking to show you what a completed painting will sort of look like. Again, I'm pressing very, very lightly. That's how I'm able to control these lines. And I am smoothing my paintbrush out in my paint every time I grab some paint. So that is the key to getting this outline nearly perfect. So I got that back part of the head. Now I'm going to complete the hairline and hair. And then I'm moving to the rest of the hair outline. And get that chin. This mouth, be very careful on your mouth, just because it's an awkward kind of line shape. Careful on your nose. Get these outlines on the eyebrows. Get the top of that hairline. A couple lines for texture. I can get the top eyelid. I'm going to leave those pupils as are, just because I'm afraid this paintbrush may not be small enough to really get in there and do those pupils justice. So that marker would definitely be a very helpful tool for your pupils if you have one, or a pen. Pen would work just fine as well. I'll just go ahead and outline that while I'm here. And lastly, I'm going to switch over to my white paint and add a couple more small details. And that'll be it for my painting. And from here, you can kind of fill in whatever you want. You can customize your piece by adding a name, adding this actual character's name. You can add designs to the background. You can do whatever you like. In fact, I'll do a couple of random things on here in a second, just to hopefully give you some ideas. The last thing I'm going to do to the painting, this is very optional. You do not have to do this. I'm going to go back, as I mentioned earlier, and choose just a couple of different parts of my skin, and I'm going to highlight the vibrancy, and it's going to just add a lot more flair and detail. Again, you don't have to do this. I'm an artist by trade, therefore I'm a bit of a fake perfectionist, so I'm always interested in making sure I do whatever I can to make my paintings look the best they can possibly look, even if I'm not going to hang on to this. So maybe a couple more white highlights, maybe in here, maybe a little bit in the neck. I can use the back of my paintbrush if I like, and add some more detail to the pupils. I don't know why I'm having a hard time with that word today. And I'm going to grab just a touch more of a white shadow or a white highlight in the cheeks, the chin, the nose, the forehead, a little bit in the neck. So now we have a very completed piece of art. And that's all to this painting. As I said, I'm just going to add some random things just to give it some extra flair. I in no way speak Japanese, Spanish. I am making up these Chinese symbols that I am incorporating into this piece. Now, I'm not sure how well you can see it on the camera, but here in person, they're pretty vibrant. What I am Again, adding different details that will add to the overall flair of the painting. And for this situation specifically, I am adding different Chinese letters to kind of add to the overall background effect of the painting, because this is an anime and we want to make sure that we keep that feel. So I'm done stalling for time. This is our completed painting. Thank you very much for painting with the Left-Handed Bandit. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, all under Left-Handed Bandit or Tyshawn D. Tyson. Feel free to please leave a review on my Facebook page, not my actual business, not my Facebook page personal, but my business Facebook page, The Left-Handed Bandit. Please feel free to leave a review. Thank you very much for painting with me. Make sure you sign your paintings. But aside from that, we are all set here on this painting, and I hope to paint with you again sometime in the upcoming future.